right, welcome to everyone who's jumping in today. It's another episode of the Behind the Agency Curtain, secrets that agencies want to give us as Amazon sellers to help us grow. So it's been a fantastic series that we've had so far. People love this, and I'm excited about the panel that we have today. It is kind of a representing East Coast, West Coast, and London vibes. So welcome, Will and Ganesh, to today's session.
Thanks for having us, John.
Cheers, thanks.
Yeah. Ganesh, where in London are you?
I'm in northwest London. So yeah, north. So I don't know if you know where that is, like Harrow. It's like, yeah, it's quite an old part of London, but yeah.
Nice. Awesome. And then, Will, we've got you over in North Carolina, right?
That's right, Raleigh, North Carolina, and we're ramping up for the March Madness coming up. We got NC State and UNC in the mix, so we're excited to see if we're going to make it all the way this year.
Oh, the hopes and dreams are crushed always. But anyway, we'll see.
Let's just say if my bracket makes it all the way, you guys probably won't hear from me very much.
Yeah, there you go. And then I'm over in Los Angeles, on the West Coast, and well, not NCAA, but the Lakers are doing pretty good. So let's see how we go. All right, so great. Let's start to see some of the comments in the chat. I'd love to hear where you're from, and any immediate questions that you have. Feel free to drop them in. We love this audience because everyone is engaging. We're really here to give knowledge, and we have a lot of experts and subject matter expertise here. So the better the questions, and the more questions, the more we can get involved here. It is kind of a fireside chat. So let us know where you're coming in from. Love to hear. Brandon, thanks for jumping in first there. Chicago, good stuff, man. Blue Wave Products, good to see you on. Let's get rolling. So how we do this, just as a quick high level, we want to be impactful and efficient with our time. So each of us will educate and talk through what we want to talk about today for at least 10 to 15 minutes each. And then we'll have a Q&A time at the end. So we will keep it within the hour. And as you guys have questions, put them in there. We may answer them live in the chat, or keep them for the Q&A for the end. But let's get the questions going. And any question is open season, right? Because yes, we have the specific area we're going to talk about today, but these are people that know the space incredibly well. And any question that you have, we will absolutely be able to address that today. So, all right. So before we jump in, let's do some quick introductions in terms of the actual we're talking about today. And maybe let's just start with you, Ganesh. Maybe give us a little bit of a quick high level. What are you going to cover today when we get to you today?
Yeah, so thanks for inviting me on firstly. So I'm Ganesh. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at 3dimages.ai. And yeah, we basically spent months analyzing how 3D models impact everyday products on Amazon. And we've looked at it for a wide range of products, from supplements to sports equipment and cosmetics. And we found some really cool, interesting insights from it. And I guess that's what I'll be talking about on today.
Amazing, dude. Yeah, I'm super excited. I mean, we talked a little bit before, and I love what you guys are doing, and I think it's incredibly impactful. So looking forward to hearing that. A quick hi from Sam, North England. Nice. Okay. And we've got someone from Nikki from Greece. Good stuff. So keep them coming in and get those questions ready, guys. We are here to answer them as we go. Will, let us know, what are you talking about today?
Yeah, I'm going to be talking a little bit about advertising on Amazon and marketplaces. And really, I'm keeping it pretty basic. I find that a lot of sellers have a fundamental misunderstanding of what KPIs actually tell you and what levers you can pull in order to influence those KPIs. So I'm excited to kind of dive in and talk advertising. And professionally, I've been doing advertising for a little over 15 years now. So excited to share what I've learned on this road, and looking forward to getting some really challenging questions.
Yeah, and there's so much talk and focus on an AI and what's happening and how that's organically changing the shopper experience. But of course, advertising is never going to go away. That's the money maker. And there's also some new news around how it's getting integrated further into the experiences. I'll talk a little bit about that, and I'm sure you will as well, Will. So lots to talk about there. Okay, so and what I'm going to cover today is talking about what we call listing engineering, right? So how do you structure your listings for AI discovery, which is absolutely critical given what's happening on Amazon and given what's happening in general in the conversational search era. It's interesting because I see a bunch of sellers and even subject matter experts in the space kind of like want to just put their head in the sand and be like, oh, nothing's changing, but it is. We see it in the data. And so, I'm going to stand on the soapbox and just give as much knowledge as I can, because it is so critical. And we're seeing changes happen in the space and people losing out on traffic and visibility because they're not adapting quickly enough. And we've got some amazing, crazy products that are coming out around the space. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. I've structured mine more in a way of doing some Q&A and some common questions that one answers. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. And why don't we jump in? So I'm going to kick it off first, and then we're going to go over to Ganesh and then Will. Yes, everyone, you will be getting the recording. I'll say it up front. You're going to get a recording and probably some additional knowledge drops in the follow-up email as well that you get. So thank you for everyone who's registered. There's a pretty massive audience today. Let's keep it running. So Eva, if you want to help with just presenting the screen, we'll get it going. Let's see. I think he said he was going to present, or maybe I just presented. Let's see.
Well, I'm excited to talk about AI, John. Get on the soapbox, man. This is next level. It's crazy how fast things are changing and how it all comes together. How about some of our listeners? Have you guys been experimenting with AI? I know what is it? Cowork just rolled out with Claude. That's pretty impactful. Love to hear in the comments.
How you use OpenClaw, to be honest. That seems to be the hot topic.
Yeah, OpenClaw is nuts.
All right, can you guys see my screen?
Yes, sir. Behind the Amazon curtain.
All right. I'm going to do this. Okay, can you guys see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. Great. What we could get more into in the Q&A, we can talk a little bit more about OpenClaw and Cowork and building out systems, but I think it is absolutely a critical piece. It's again, it's about surface level AI and what you can do, but the deep system side is absolutely critical. And that's actually a lot of what my topic is today. I just want to make sure I'm geared up here so I can see you guys properly. Give me 1 second. I want to see if I have this all organized. Great. I can see the questions. I can see you guys. We are good to go. All right. Okay. So let me start my clock here because I want to make sure that I am on time and I keep you guys accountable. So let me get going right here. Okay. So what I'm going to talk about framed in a common question and answer framework today is this new standard for Amazon listings, which is how do you truly engineer why is it important to engineer your listings in the right way for AI discovery, and what are the factors that are important in doing that? We've also got a special 50% off exclusive for this audience, and I will talk about what you get for that 50% off. And I'm also going to give you guys access to a free product. It's our readiness report, which you can take any ASIN, you can drop it into this app, and it will give you a full report diagnosing where are you strong and weak for AI optimization for Amazon's Cosmo algorithm, and we'll jump in and go over that. So let's start off real quick before we jump into a lot more detail. Some new news that is coming out. So AI shopping is expanding beyond Amazon, and it was announced today with a Walmart and ChatGPT integration. Now, I want to be very clear here. This is not the one we've heard about before, which is like, hey, OpenAI created an integration where Amazon and Shopify have been able to integrate into that shopping platform, right? So you can get instant checkout in ChatGPT. In fact, that looks like it's being scrapped, and Walmart has flipped the control and is basically saying, hey, we're going to integrate Sparky which is their conversational search AI, agents, into the ChatGPT experience, and potentially even into Gemini as well. So it's a brand new piece of news that has just come out, I think, as of today or yesterday, and we'll see how that unfolds. But what does that mean for, obviously as a brand, you probably sell omni-channel, but even what does it mean for Amazon and Rufus? At the end of the day, it's leaning more into this idea that conversational search, AI shopping experiences are going to become more and more the de facto, right? So if this is going to happen now, where Sparky is literally going in into OpenAI, into ChatGPT and Gemini, this conversational experience is going to be the more of the retail shopping experience, in our day-to-day, right? So this is something you need to pay attention to, and it does mean Rufus is going to become more and more important. But it's interesting that this whole control of, like, where is the, from a retail marketplace, where's the control of the shopping market experience? If Walmart has been able to control it there, what's going to happen with Rufus and Amazon? Will there be some other integrations that will happen? We'll see. But if you don't have a structured listing, you're not going to be seen. So it's really important new news. Check it out, and watch that space for sure. The second piece, I'm sure Will bring this up as well. This is I've announced this as well, that we've started to see sponsored ads being tested in the conversational Rufus experience. Amazon announced it, I think it was last week, that and they now have it inside of Seller Central. You can do sponsored prompts. So being able to have these ability to have a sponsored prompt in this native experience, conversational experience, and pay for that ad, and make sure that it is relevant for the conversations that's happening, is critical. And it's not just keywords; it's about relevancy, right? So it is a different way of doing sponsored ads, and hopefully Amazon get this right, so they don't take away from the actual the quality of the conversational experience, which is massively improved, and is fantastic. So watch the space as well. I like to kick mine off with an unpopular opinion. Amazon doesn't rank listings anymore. It recommends products it understands. I absolutely 100% agree with this. And that's why structured listings engineered for the algorithm are so critical, right? It's an intelligence algorithm. It's no longer just looking at keywords. It is looking at so many more signals. And if you structure the signals in the best way possible, you have the right architecture to ensure that you are more visible through not only intent keyword-based searching, but also through the conversational search experience, right? So there's a lot more sophistications into how you should structure your listings. And I can guarantee you that, just asking ChatGPT to, create a listing for you is not going to give you the deep structure that you need in order to send the right signals. We've tested this a lot. ChatGPT will get you some of the way. There is some intelligence to how it understands to structure it for Cosmo, which is the algorithm that drives the Rufus experience, and obviously your search experience. But there's a lot more in-depth data that needs to happen behind that, and that's what we're going to talk about in more depth today. I've mentioned this before. Why is it critical and important? There are over 250 million customers using Rufus today. I use it all the time for my shopping experience. And what's great for you as a brand, and also as and being Amazon, is that your chance for conversion, if you appear in a Rufus experience, is 60% higher than the traditional shopping experience, because it is a much more trusted experience, and they're getting the answers to the questions that are important for them deciding on buying a product or not, right? So, if you have a 60% better chance of converting, why would you not want to appear in that experience, right? So this is critical, and if you want access to those shoppers, which are growing day to day, you need to be sending the right signals to the algorithm, right? So again, we're moving away from just keyword matching into product understanding. So this think of it like this old archaic algorithm was just looking for keywords, where it's placed, are you getting conversion in those, search volume, etc. Now you have this intelligent algorithm called Cosmo that is truly understanding, like, hey, what is the problem that your product is solving? Who's it for? When should it be recommended, right? It's looking at all of the different pathways, use cases, and ways that your product could appear relevant to a type of use case that has been typed into the conversation, and then mapping you to that, right? So it is a product knowledge intelligence that is looking for in your listing, that's going to make you money, but also Amazon money, right? Couple of things here. If you haven't as a brand, you need to start getting in and using Rufus and typing in and seeing how sophisticated this type of conversation can be, right? And how much better that shopping experience is versus just putting in a keyword, looking at your PDP, trying to assess what product is best, and then dropping into your cart, right? Try it, and I'm sure you'll become someone who will use it on a day-to-day basis, just like I do. You can type in questions like this, right? What's the best water bottle for keeping drinks cold all day that's easy to clean and good for travel? You're not going to type that into a keyword search and expect fantastic results. You're going to have to look at all the products, look at their product attributes, their benefits, and try and assess that for yourself. Why not use Rufus to assess that for you and then get the answers, and it will summarize that for you, and you can decide, and you can actually drop it into your cart and buy it before you even been to one PDP, right? I need a standing desk set up for a small home office that reduces back pain and costs under $300. What should I get? What's a good protein powder for muscle gain that's easy to digest and low in sugar for morning workouts, right? These are conversations you can have today, and it gets way more sophisticated than that, where you can find some products, track them, add them to your cart, buy them when it's at your lowest price. These are things that you can prompt Rufus to do for you, right? It is a way more sophisticated and enjoyable experience, and daily more people are using that, right? You guys do it even in ChatGPT today. So go ahead, try it out. This is the new way of shopping, right?
Hey, can I chime in real quick, John? You got a pretty good question in the chat. I thought it was relevant. How important is it to remain doing your own keyword research for optimizing listings when using ZonGuru Listing Optimizer?
It is important, and thanks. I see that question from Brandon, and actually, I'm addressing it in one of these common questions here, which is this idea of like keyword research, and is it still critical? The answer is yes, right? There's always going to be keyword intent based searching, and ensuring that you have seeded the right keywords is critical, but you don't have to, stuff your listings like you used to do it, where you have to put in all different kinds of synonyms, repeat keywords, that gone are those days. And in fact, that hurts your listing. So you need to seed it with your top most relevant keywords, but it is sophisticated enough that it will take that and then map you to the whole universe. From Amazon's perspective, think about it. If you have a more intelligent algorithm that doesn't need every single keyword to map you to all of the types of keyword searches that are happening, but it just needs direction, a signal around like, hey, this is the main universe that is most relevant to my product. And now it's intelligent enough to say, hey, I can map you to every single type of keyword search that's out there. It's going to do it, right? Because it's going to make more money for Amazon as well. So you just have to seed it with your top keywords, and the algorithm will do the rest, right? But yes, thank you for that. And it is a question that's going to come up. So okay, so I've framed this in ways that talk about structured engineering, but these are common questions that I get from clients, from customers every day in conversations, right? And they're trying to understand how this world is changing around AI. So the first question is, what drives Rufus visibility? First, it is providing strong signals, structure, and context, right? You have to do that through your content, both in your images and your copy. Answering all the Q&A questions that are out there, and the technical mapping. If you have the technical mapping in place, which is what the algorithm is looking for, it'll then match you to all of the different types of pathways and relevant connections that your product needs, right? So that is number one. You need to do that. But yes, keyword seeding, we just talked about that. That is critical. People are still going to type in keywords and find products in the traditional manner, although that is obviously starting to shift more and more towards just having the Rufus conversations, but it is still there for sure. Performance metrics, of course, Amazon is still looking through click-through rate, conversion rate, seller health, all the things that we have paid attention to in the past. Reviews, a new one is shopper behavior, right? So making sure the algorithm is going to personalize the results based on what your profile is as a shopper behavior. So that's critical. And at the end of the day, Amazon wants to make more money, right? So all the signals that Amazon is looking for, to make more money as well. So, seller fees, revenue, all of these kind of things are still critical to Amazon in terms of getting surfaced in Rufus. So there's an objective way that, Rufus is going to look at products, but of course it's going to put a layer of Amazon on top of that, where Amazon is going to look to make more money as well, right? All right, guys, I just want to double check. Can you guys see me? Everything is good?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. All right, I'm getting a couple of notifications on my side. So, okay, there. Actually, I fixed it. I think I'm good. Okay, so the next question: don't the same SEO tactics still work from 5 years ago? It's funny. I saw, some subject matter experts jump into my LinkedIn and say, "Hey, yeah, it's it's all the same as it's been in the past." And honestly, that's putting your head in the sand. It isn't. Yes, the fundamentals are still there, but if you want to have access to this whole discovery layer, it's a discovery layer on top of it, and your listings need to be structured in a new way. And frankly, if you don't structure your listings in a new way, you're not only going to lose out on traffic on Amazon, but that structure is the same structure that Sparky on Walmart is looking for. OpenAI, ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, right? So structuring your listings in a way that LLMs can read your listings and get the signals it needs goes beyond Amazon, right? And so this is the time to make sure that you put that in place, because imagine tomorrow if Amazon announced an integration with these other platforms, and it's those platforms are looking for the structure that is needed for it to surface you, and you haven't done it, you're missing out immediately on that, and someone else is going to take it and eat your lunch, right? So it is absolutely critical you do it. So keywords are important, but if you don't have the structure there, you're going to lose out, right? And there's these two systems, the keyword search, right? And then the AI discovery. You need to be optimized for both. And that's obviously what we have done a lot of work around. Okay, so can't you just use ChatGPT to create a listing? So no, so that, it's going to give you surface level content, and it's going to do some things well, and it has some understanding of Rufus, and it's going to look for some certain LLM structure. But again, having the deep understanding of the Amazon ecosystem is critical. So making sure that you understand what are the most relevant keywords and seeding it in the correct way is obviously critical. Structuring it for the LLMs, and for Amazon Nevo and Anthropic, which is what Amazon use, but structuring in the right way for these AI algorithms is critical. But then also doing what AI is good at, and I think this is where we really stand out, which is like, don't just create a listing based on how best to structure it for the LLMs, but also use AI in a way to do deep research. What is like understanding what do customers actually want? Like what does it stand out from reviews? What are the common things that you should connect on with a product, or surface those by doing deep AI research, understanding how to position your product. What's your unique selling proposition? How do you stand out from your competitors? Who are your competitors? How do you emotionally connect with your customers? These are things that you should be doing at a structured level on your listing to really make sure that you connect with customers, tell them what they want to hear, but also structure it for AI readability, right? This is the things that really go into structured product engineering, and ChatGPT is not going to get it there for you. How should performance be measured? This is a big question. It's not better sounding copy. It's not isolated A/B tests on Amazon's platform right now. That is definitely built for looking purely at conversion rates on your listing, which is obviously important, but it's not going to test your ability to get more visibility through discoverability on the AI side, right? So how do you measure that? We actually have a product coming out, like we're doing a lot of research around performance testing, around AI discoverability. But at a high level, some of the things that are important right now is seeing an improvement in sessions, seeing an improvement in niche rank, and seeing an improvement in conversion rate, right? So PPC and price being consistent, if you see an increase in those, it's generally because you're getting more discovered on Amazon. All right, I know I'm running out of time, but I'm going to just keep going here. I've got a couple more slides. So again, what is the standard for new high-performing listings? I kind of mentioned this, but it is using AI and multiple agents to do the things that are important, right? So doing the deep research, understanding how to position a product, connect with customers emotionally, and map it for AI is critical. This combination is rare. This is what we do in Zonguru. If you try our Cosmo transformation service, this is exactly what we do, and we get significant results with this, which is basically give you the best listing you could ever have, both from how to position your product uniquely, how to connect with customers emotionally, and how to map it in a way that sends the right signals to Cosmo and Rufus, so that you have the best structure and the maximum chance of visibility. And our goal is simple: we're going to improve human conversion and AI visibility, and we do both of that through our system called the Cosmo Transformation Service. I want to just show you quickly a few things here. If you can see this, great. Yeah, you can. This is a tool. I'll give you a link to this, but it's free. You just drop it in ASIN, you hit generate report. Within a minute, it'll give you a full, deep audit of your current listing, showing you where you're strong and weak, and how to improve it for Cosmo optimization. This is an example of a readiness report. It'll give you a score out of 100, and then it will show you, hey, how are you technically mapped for AI readability, and how are you answering on the Rufus Q&A side, and then most importantly, where you're strong and weak and how to improve it. So if you want to just improve your current listing, this report is amazing. It's going to give you a baseline of how well you're optimized for the latest algorithm. It is a fantastic report, and it's free. So I'll give you a link to that. If you do the Cosmo transformation, you get the 50% off. You will get the full transformation both on the content side and the image side. Importantly, on the copy side, we'll show you the before and after, but show you why it's mapped for the algorithm for A9, and how it's evolved from, this ingredient static listing to an emotional listing that really connects with customers. There's a lot in this, including obviously how you can upload it into Amazon. And then we do a full deep dive on the image side, again, showing you exactly what your order of images should be, what content you should put in there for AI readability and for human conversion, plus all the prompts you can do to generate images if you need to. It is significant, and you can get in and try that out. Again, we have performance tracking, which I showed you. We see a significant increase from day one on sessions, niche rank, conversion rates. And here is the offer for you guys. The first one is, and we'll drop this in the chat as well, zonguru.link/CosmoRS is the readiness score. That's free. You get up to 5 free reports. You can generate those immediately and check your current score. And if you want to actually take us up on the exclusive offer, this is 50% off just for this audience. You raise your hand, so we'll give it to you. Go to zonguru.link/Cosmo50. So Cosmo50, and then make sure you put the coupon code Cosmo50 in that page, and you'll get 50% off. And you can actually go through a full Cosmo transformation service. And we have some big things being announced in the space in the next couple of weeks. So join our newsletter, be on that, because there are some significant things that are coming out in the next few weeks that'll help you with this whole process. So that's it, guys. I'm going to stop right there. I hope that was useful and giving you guys some background on how we do things and why it's so critical for you. And yeah, we'll go from there.
Hey, John, you had some really great questions from Larry here in the chat, and very exciting that a Cosmo optimized listing is next level. But Larry asks, will a Cosmo optimized Amazon listing work just as well on Walmart or other marketplaces?
So good question. The answer, and sorry, I'm just trying to I've done something to my screen, so I'm just making sure I can see you guys. Yeah, it's a good question. At a high level, it's what I mentioned earlier, which is how you structure your listings on Amazon. It's ultimately for AI readability, right? And so that structure is very similar to the structure on ChatGPT, Walmart, Gemini, Perplexity, right? So if you have the right structure from an AI readability, it gives you more potential on all of the other platforms, right? So yes, at the end of the day, it's future-proofing you for how the Amazon listing can be readable on any other AI platform, right? So you can use the same structure, and in fact, we have clients who copy it over and put it onto their Walmart, and they use that structure. So you can do that as well. But from our products specifically, we focus on Amazon, and then how you use that on other platforms is up to you. Good. Okay, guys. So I'm going to, hopefully more questions come in. We'll come back to that and we'll answer them at the end. I want to jump over to Ganesh and give you the floor to present what you want to go through around 3D images today as well.
Cheers. Thank you so much. Let me share my screen. Yeah, I think it perfectly flows into what I'm about to talk about. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, so I just want to say, even with Rufus, it's crazy how many people are actually using Rufus. I know you mentioned, like, was it 250 million? So it just shows you, like, as soon as Amazon release a feature, the amount of people that jump on that feature is insane. And I think it just shows you they're giving you the tools to, like, optimize every single thing when you're selling on Amazon, basically. And on that topic, I'm basically going to talk about the most underused feature on Amazon right now, and that is 3D models. So as a reminder, I'm Ganesh. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at 3dimages.ai. And we spent months analyzing how 3D models actually affect a wide range of products on Amazon, such as supplements, sports equipment, and cosmetics. And this is because 3D models is becoming one of the biggest factors that's boosting organic revenue on Amazon. And I'm excited to show you what we found. So here's the context for why 3D models are rapidly growing on Amazon. And over time, we've seen massive waves of new features released by Amazon. So wave one, everyone knows, was A+ content. And the biggest brands jumped on it first and saw conversions skyrocket. But when A+ content was first released, not everyone used it because they couldn't justify spending hundreds into something that was below the fold. But fast forward to now, if you sell any product, you need A+ content to stay competitive. Wave two was when Amazon announced they wanted videos on every listing, which seemed like an obvious feature, so it quickly became the industry standard. But in 2024, Amazon announced the third wave of 3D models. So what's the context behind this announcement, and why is it important now? So, well, Amazon looked at over 350 million products. That number might be off, but I'm presuming it's more than 350 million products, and saw that less than 1% were using their 360 spin feature on the mobile app. And I don't know if anyone's used it, but this feature was an absolute nightmare to use, and the quality was always grainy. So last year, Amazon decided to open up the doors to the SPN network, and they invited brands to create 3D models made by professional 3D artists. And they realized this was the only way to give customers these assets at scale. But these 3D artists generally couldn't understand the Amazon compliance. So after the announcement, brands found that creating 3D models was extremely hard and expensive. So the return on investment was only worth it for products with functional uses, like seeing a sofa in your living room or trying on glasses. But essentially, everyone missed the bigger picture. And the reality is, we've seen 3D slowly appear on hundreds of categories. So we're talking supplements, there's even a toilet roll, coffee pods, Lego have started doing it. And 3D models are slowly becoming that new industry standard. And to understand why this is happening, you have to look at what Amazon discovered when they first experimented with 3D. So firstly, when a customer clicks the View in 3D button, they 2x their conversions. Hence, they are twice as likely to buy from you. Secondly, simply having a 3D asset on your listing leads to a 9% total sales uplift on average. Amazon are proving that 3D works across multiple categories. But here's the real reason Amazon are pushing this so hard. It's because they hate dealing with product returns. And I know everyone probably in this call hates it too. Roughly 22% of returns happen because the item wasn't as described. And part of this reason is that the customer couldn't judge the size, scale, or texture from a flat photo. And research shows that 3D models have proven to solve this issue. So Amazon takes the quality of 3D models incredibly seriously. So we saw the biggest brands like L'Oreal, Nestle, and Lego are starting to roll out 3D models on their listings. And generally, when the big brands start to make changes, they typically know something that the rest of the world doesn't know or isn't aware of. And this got us really curious to see if this is an untapped conversion hack that very few brands are using. So after looking at the Amazon research and following the biggest brands, we started testing this for ourselves across many different categories, which basically had 0 3D models. And here's 3 examples from our portfolio. So we tried uploading a 3D model on an art kit and conversions doubled. We then tried supplements and found that a 3D model resulted in a 15% increase in sales. And finally, we tried a massage roller, and to our surprise, conversions boosted from 3 to 7%. So this obviously completely blew our minds, and we wanted to figure out why 3D models are boosting conversions. And after speaking to multiple 8-figure brands and conversion rate experts, we finally understood why. And it comes down to a brutal reality. You have less than 3 seconds to stop a customer from bouncing on your listing. In those seconds after, you have to stand out from the competition and answer most questions customers have in their head to eliminate their hesitation. This is why the biggest brands obsess over building trust and dwell time into their listing, which is proven to boost conversions. What we're finding now is that customers can spend up to 30 seconds interacting with 3D models by spinning and zooming into it. They are subconsciously hunting for the answers they need. And this massive spike in dwell time is exactly why Amazon's analysis shows that the probability of a conversion doubles the moment shopper clicks View in 3D. Because the customer now gets every bit of information they need, especially when they are virtually holding the product in their hands, which is something an image or a video just can't replicate. And it doesn't matter what your product is. If the view in 3D feature is available on your listing and you're not using it, you're likely missing out on tons of engagement for your product, because it just takes one customer who clicked view in 3D and purchased the product straight after to signal to the Amazon algorithm that your product is more relevant, and this algorithm will reward you with a higher organic ranking over time. In 2026, every 1% increase in conversions is vital for standing out against your competition. And there are thousands of categories right now where this 3D feature is not used amongst the best sellers. And we've obviously just learned from John that conversions improves improves discoverability on Rufus. So now, if this sounds familiar, it's because we've seen this before with A+ content, and people understood that A+ content was a massive conversion booster purely from the premium feel. And few brands were using this feature effectively, except now roughly 30% of products across Amazon already have it, and it's become the industry standard. So for example, in the bestseller category for massage rollers, 98% already have A+ content. So it's super saturated. And we already know A+ content is expensive, takes weeks to optimize, and customers have to scroll past your price tag just to see it. However, 3D models are eye level. So when a shopper clicks on your listing, it sits right at the top of your page before they ever see your A+ modules. And I'm not saying one is better than the other, and both have its own uses, but ultimately brands purchase them for the same reason, and that's to make their listing feel more premium. So you might be asking, if 3D models have all these benefits, why hasn't 3D completely been mainstream? And to understand this, let me tell you about our experiences. So getting a 3D model was a nightmare when my team tried it over the years. So the first place everyone went to was freelancer websites like Fiverr. And our experience is that there were tons of freelancers out there who created 3D models for games, but now advertise under e-commerce products. However, these models almost always get rejected by Amazon, as they have some of the highest technical standards across all marketplaces. So they manually check colors, sizes, proportions, and ensure there are no visual mistakes. So when we use freelancers, we actually had 3 weeks of constant rejections with all of our brands. So after experiencing this pain firsthand, we built our company 3D Images for brands to get 3D models at scale. So we have over 150 vetted designers who get consistent training and updates on all Amazon compliance standards that we've unfortunately had to identify for ourselves. And this enabled us to create an internal 3D model validator that has criteria that you can't find in the Amazon documentation. And our 3D artists are using it to double their productivity, which has massively cut down costs of revisions. So we handle the technical stuff, the formatting, and the headaches. And if you want a 3D model, you just send us a couple of photos, dimensions, and then we'll send you a perfect 3D asset. And for most products, we're doing a 48-hour turnaround. So if you hate waiting for quotes on freelancer websites and you just want to find out how much a 3D model costs within a few seconds, we've actually built an AI-powered pricing system that quickly determines the price of your 3D model based on the complexity of your product. So you just type in what your product is, answer a few questions, and it will take you straight to a Stripe terminal where you can quickly purchase your 3D model. So you get straightforward, transparent pricing, and you don't need to wait for proposals or back and forth from freelancers. And we'll instantly start working with a 3D model based on your Amazon listing. And we may ask for more photos or dimensions. So what else can you do with your 3D model? So the interesting thing is you can upload them to all the channels listed here, like Walmart and Shopify, to reap similar benefits. And secondly, AI tools like Adobe Firefly recently had an update where you no longer need to upload an image of your product from one angle to create AI lifestyle images and videos. Instead, you can get unlimited angles by uploading a 3D model as an input. Thirdly, if you're launching a new product, you can use 3D renders to set up listings and websites before your product is manufactured. And finally, you can have iPhone-style cinematic videos of your product using 3D animations. So whether you're just starting out or have a 10 out of 10 optimized listing already, I want you guys to have a chance to get the next biggest competitive edge on Amazon. So you can get 30% off your first 3D model in the next 48 hours. I recommend you get at least one on your bestseller before rolling it out across all SKUs. You can submit your product on our website and use the discount code ZonGuru3D at checkout. And for other inquiries, you can reach out to us via email, and you can visit our website to book a call with me anytime. Thanks, guys.
Ganesh, that was pretty awesome. Do you have like a specific category that you would recommend? It's like a no-brainer. I know you had a bunch of categories there, but it's like there's certain categories that 3D model or imaging performs really well.
Yeah, I mean the no-brainer ones are like jewelry, furniture, like
Mm.
one of the few furniture in the room, sunglasses. Even there's so many sunglasses, but like best-selling sunglasses at the moment that don't even have 3D models, and you can Amazon literally have a virtual try-on feature. So it's great, and this is the same with footwear as well is amazing.
Mhm.
What we're typically finding is products with really, really high traffic. So,
Mm.
if you're getting like millions of impressions, millions of clicks onto your listing, and let's say even 5% of them or 10% of them just click view in 3D, that's immediately hundreds of like thousands of hours added to your listing of dwell time. So those are like a no-brainer to get 3D models on. So yeah, there's definitely loads of use cases for it.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was amazing. I think you guys have solved a lot of the problems, and the things that stood out to me there is the compliance around the 3D image, and having a true subject matter expert who understands the Amazon environment is critical, and you guys have solved that. And I think at the end of the day, if you're increasing engagement and conversion because of this product, the return that you're going to get just by literally doing one of these and being unique to a lot of your competitors is massive, right? So very cool, man. And I hope people are listening here and are going to take advantage of it. So good stuff. Yeah, super epic. Keep the questions coming, guys. I appreciate it. Larry, I know you're leading the charge here, which is great. So appreciate all the questions. Keep them coming. We'll have some Q&A at the end, but I want to hand over to Will to jump in and walk us through advertising.
All right, let's dance, guys. I'm going to share my screen. All right, guys. Can you see what I'm looking at? Oh, now you definitely can. All right, let's dance. Like I said, I keep this really basic. I really love questions, so I'm just going to run through some really basic fundamentals, and we'll talk from there. So topics I want to discuss today is like, why do sales change? Why does ACOS change? The Amazon PPC food pyramid, which I'll go like priorities in terms of like how to optimize your account and get the best returns, and then incorporating bid placements. So first and foremost, why do sales go up and down? It's tied to sessions, page views, and traffic. It's tied to conversion rate, and it's tied to your sales price as a really super basic high level of like what is going on inside your listing that influences advertising. And so organically, when I look at this, I'm thinking sessions. So what is sessions and traffic? That's going to be your search volume, your impression share, your total impression share or top of search impression share, your click-through rate, and that's going to be placements, product price, main image, organic ranking, how well do I rank around specific keywords and specific categories, and then keyword bids as advertising is part of it. Conversion rates are influenced by your product listing changes, so your price, your reviews, your keywords, what are you indexing for, what's in your title, what's in your bullets, the competitor landscape. How are you competitively? Do you have as many reviews as the top sellers? Are you competing on price? Do you have a unique selling proposition that's different from other products in the category? And then macro variables, which we can't control. Inflation, cost of goods increasing, all those have impact on shopping behavior. Next, your average sales price. How does this influence your pricing strategy? Are we a premium? Are we competing? Are we a discount brand? What type of promo mix are we doing? Are we a brand that discounts all the time? Are we a brand that never discounts? Do we have a good product mix? Can we do bundles? Can we do multi-packs? Do we cross-sell and upsell? Do we have an entry-level product and then an upsell to a more advanced product? And then category price anchoring. So where do you sit compared to your top competitors? And then margins constraints. Obviously, you need to have certain margins in order to be able to afford marketing costs and then all the logistics costs that comes with selling products online. And then total sales. Sales is really super high levels. It's your number of sessions you drive times your conversion rate times your average sales price. And those levers working together will give you your total sales. Traffic quality matters more than traffic volume. So driving traffic that has high intent, they're in market, they're looking for your product, is going to get the best overall impact. And then scaling requires a balance. It's not just spending more and always understanding where that point of diminishing returns are. So why does ACoS go up and down? Typically, your cost per click, CPCs, are going to go up. If the actual cost of advertising increases, that's going to impact your advertising cost of sale. Your advertising cost of sale is your spend divided by your advertising sales, and that gives you your ACoS. Conversion rates, the amount of orders resulting from advertising cost. If your conversion rates are going down, your ACoS is going to go up, and that's not great. And then your average order value. I'm liquidating a product for a client right now. We cut the price in half. At our full price, we were moving like $5,000 a month. At half price, we're also moving $5,000 a month, but we're moving a lot more products, which is great if you're liquidating. Not so great if you were trying to get paid full price for those items. So on the paid side, what are some of the costs associated with advertising? The placements. So the higher you're going to show up in advertising is going to be the more you're going to spend in placements. Your top of search multiplier, those are very aggressive. I audit a lot of accounts. I see like 500% multiplier on the top of search. It's like, why don't you just adjust your bids? But either way, it's a great feature. But that's an example of why your bids at top of search might be $8 and your average bids might be around 79 cents. Product keyword relevancy, click-through rate, all determines your cost per click. And then obviously the bids and what the competitors are bidding. In terms of conversion rate, this actually ties a lot to what John and Ganesh were talking about. Your product listing quality has a lot to do with it. Is my main image good quality? Your main image and your title is going to determine the eyeballs you're going to get on your product detail page. So if you don't have a great main image, if your title is kind of ambiguous or it's something to everyone, you're probably not going to get a ton of click-throughs. Keyword changes. So understanding, branded versus non-branded, top of funnel versus middle of funnel versus bottom of funnel. And all of those have different KPIs associated with it. I'm keeping this high level for this conversation. Competitive landscape, are we where do we, if you're selling an anti-aging cream, that's like an oversaturated subcategory. So there needs to be really something very unique about the niche that you're selling in that would impact conversion rates. And that could be, is it made with a specific ingredient? Is it used for a specific use case? But something generic like anti-aging cream is going to be a very competitive category. It's going to be hard to break into and have an impact. Your average order value, how you impact that, which impacts paid media, your product mix, as mentioned, your bundles, your cross-sell influence, whether that's via sponsored brand ads, your storefront, or your A+ content, and then pricing architecture across variations and package size. So your higher average order value improves efficiency, but it raises conversion expectations. So a lot of times I hear is my premium product good for Amazon? Of course it is. It's the tactics you use to promote those products are going to be a little different than your run-of-the-mill volume-based product. And then ACoS, as mentioned before, this is kind of a different formula, but ACoS can also be your cost per click divided by your conversion rate times your average order value. And that's another way you can back into your advertising cost of sale, but always easier just to do spend and sales. It really depends on what KPIs you're analyzing. And then this is going to be impacted by the other. So driving traffic cost, conversion efficiency, and order value. Lowering your CPCs alone is not a strategy. It's your conversion rate, relevancy, all those kind of impact your advertising cost of sale and the impact of your investment. So what I like to I can't tell you how often I come into accounts or I meet with sellers and they think advertising is the answer. So just PPC alone is a waste of money if you're not going to do the other things. To Ganesh's point, getting some really great 3D images to differentiate your product, or to what John mentioned, having the use cases so I index really well on Cosmos. These are all things I would do before I double down on investing heavily in advertising. You totally can. Advertising is all ratios. I can hit any sales number It just doesn't mean it's going to be profitable for you. It comes down to what's that conversion rate, where am I targeting in the funnel, and then what's the volume and demand there. So PPC by itself cannot convince customers to purchase. It's just a way to get traffic. It's a way to get attention and eyeballs. And so when I consider the PPC pyramid of like what I would do to improve conversion rates, TACOS, ACOS, ROAS, whatever acronym you use to spell out profitability, product listing quality is the bottom of the pyramid. It's the base. It's probably the most important. It's how I'm indexing for keywords. It's the user experience on my product detail page. And a good user experience is going to lead to strong conversion rates. And then analytics becomes predictable. If I know steadily I convert at 10%, then I know with each additional dollar I invest, I can expect to convert this amount of traffic. So like when we work with larger brands, it becomes a lot easier for us to forecast demand, knowing what typical our conversion rates. So if you came to us and said, hey, I want to increase my investment by 200%, factoring some diminishing returns, we can have a rough idea of what we could turn that investment into in terms of sales. Bidding optimization, this is like now we're getting into maintenance. So we have a strong listing, relevant keywords, and now we're in the campaigns. We're firing all the different ad types that are available. Bid optimization becomes probably the second most important thing. So like controlling the placement and how I'm investing in the relevancy of the keywords I want to invest in. So if I'm a new brand and I want to be relevant, I might be a little more aggressive on keywords that are around my brand or around very specific keyword terms. If I sell an umbrella, a weather umbrella, not like a beach umbrella, I will have keywords that speak to that, and I'll negate beach umbrella as a way to just make sure that my bids are lined up. I'm bidding heavier on that, and that I'm not showing up irrelevantly, which would be a waste of my investment. And that same things with targeting. So harvesting keywords and negating. I'm always surprised when I go through campaigns and like we audit, we'll take over an account from someone else, and like there's not negative keywords on the back end, even some like really basic phrase matches. So harvesting negative keywords. Next is your campaign structure. So like we like to segment our campaigns by branded and non-branded. And then we like to do the different types of ads. So are we doing product targeting? Is it exact match keywords? Is it broad match? Are they generic keywords? Are we targeting something specific, a specific audience? So like having that in your nomenclature makes it easier for you to throttle things on and off. And like one thing I've learned from like years of doing advertising, the more granular you are with your campaigns, the more specific you are, the more control you have over outcomes. So like if you jump into a Bellavix account, you'll notice that we're very detailed on where we're targeting in the funnel, what's the specific SKU, and like what's the tactic going on. And we use a lot of acronyms for that, so we're not writing paragraphs as campaign titles. And then advanced tactics, day parting is really great. Single keyword campaigns. We also have like DSP programmatic advertising when you're ready for that. And then for a lot of like newer brands, we do stick to Amazon, but Amazon's great for demand capturing. 50% of e-commerce starts there, but building audiences, I found it mediocre at best. DSP does have its part, but a lot of product discovery, especially for products like beauty products or something fashionable, a lot of that discovery happens on social media. So being aware of like where your customer is and kind of how you're creating demand versus how you're capturing demand are two different aspects of advertising, and understanding where Amazon comes in and some of these other ancillary platforms come in is important. A little outside of the topic today, but I figured I'd share. So how does ranking and ads work together? Organic ranking grows from a combination of keyword relevancy, sales velocity, and conversion rate consistency. PPC amplifies performance, but only when listings convert effectively for buyer intent. And the goal is to build a connected system that links search data, listing content and creative, and ad strategy with performance metrics that we can iterate. So how do we read these signals, and like what do ad KPIs reveal about listing health? So as mentioned earlier, it kind of all works together. And this next slide actually showcases a little better. So if like we were working together and I'm troubleshooting your ads account or specific campaigns, I'd be looking at click-through rate first. This measures how well your product attracts attention in search results. So if I know I have a low click-through rate, I probably have a weak main image. Maybe some 3D images will be in line for us. The title might be unclear. The unique selling proposition might not meet expectations, or it's just an uncompetitive price point. So like these are all levers you could pull that influences click-through rate. Next is conversion rate. So now they clicked on my listing and they're viewing all my details about the brand and the product. And so a low conversion rate shows how well your listing closes once a shopper clicks. So it's either an intent mismatch, it's a poor image sequencing, it's unclear benefits. I find with a lot of technical products, they talk about features, not benefits, or it's just missing lifestyle proof. Like we've all seen those generic listings that don't look very good. Total advertising cost of sale. This is my favorite metric. We use this for a lot of brands we work with. It's your total investment, your spend divided by total sales, organic and advertising. And this lets me know like the halo effect. So for every dollar I invested, yes, there's some ad sales out of it, but how does it impact the total sales on the account? And so a rising taco means your ads are compensating for weak organic performance or poor conversion fundamentals. So like those are the two very high level challenges that could be around a low tacos or a rising tacos. Low tacos is good. New to brand percentage indicates the brand strength and reach efficiency. So if I'm not able to acquire, and this is like the signs of a brand or niche that might be dying, but if I'm not able to acquire new to brand customers, it's an over reliance on remarketing or lack of top of funnel. So like I have found like there's definitely a certain mark. It varies per category. But like typically I've seen a lot of brands get stuck between like $100,000 to $200,000 a month. And they're not sure how they can grow. And then you go inside their account and you notice like, dude, you're only bidding on brand in very basic terms. So like they never got to demand generation. They've always just been demand capture. And maybe they were lucky because they were first to a niche, or they're really competitive on pricing, or they had some influencer deal that worked really well. And as that starts to fade away, if they're not building an audience, if they're not attracting new eyeballs to consume their products, then eventually that new to brand is going to impact total sales and the overall health of the brand. And so kind of summarized it here. Here's just another breakdown of that slide where we talk through it. But I wanted to hear for everybody to see. Thanks. That's all I got today. So I'll turn it over for any other questions.
Awesome. Super solid walkthrough there. Well, obviously I think tacos is always critical and contribution margin at the product level, right? So, I think just adding to that, like, looking at tacos of the overall account, but actually looking at the product level and seeing how you can dial that up obviously is totally critical. And the influence between organic sales, which is now obviously through keyword search, but also through Rufus, and paid ads, and how you invest in that and how that's performing are all tied together. So I think everything you covered there was critical for people. And so I think that's the summary here today, guys, is talking about structured listings, how to structure your listings, talking about how to improve conversion rates and just the experience on the product level page through 3D images, really leveraging this real estate that you have on your PDP to help with customer connection conversion, but also AI readability, and then layering on your ads on top of that to really drive your Amazon sales. These are all critical things, right? And so we're now in the era where, which is great for brands, is we have the ability to leverage new unique tools, functionality, but also let listings really speak to what products are about, right? And what brands are about. And I think that's a great place for us to all be. We all have amazing products, but we have to be able to communicate them in the best way possible. And now with the shifts that are happening around the algorithm, you have the ability to really showcase your products in a better way. So it's all good news for us, but now you need to get in and do the work. And that's critical. So thanks, guys. A lot of good questions that came in, which are great. I guess there's one more to address here maybe from Brandon. I think the other questions we've addressed already, but from Brandon, over the last 2 years, we had a huge decline in sales. Other than optimizing our listings, semantic alignment, having 3D models, incorporating DSP, is there any other suggestions you have for us other than better strategies on bidding, targeting, campaign structure, and advanced tactics? Yeah, look, I mean, I can give one thought on that. I think a lot of brands today are really focusing on omni-channel traffic, right? And I think TikTok being one of them, you know, there are other eyeballs and other platforms, right? And if you can get more eyeballs, and then ultimately, you know, even though there might be more eyeballs on other platforms, customers still love Amazon as their conversion platform. So there's gonna be overflow from the other ones, right? So we see a lot of that halo effect from TikTok brands that have been struggling on Amazon specific. They've done TikTok. They get a lot of overflow onto you know, Amazon and do better there. But certainly, if you're declining in traffic, there's a lot that you can do just on Amazon. And I think you just mentioned them, Brad, and you know, like improving your conversion rates. You know, structuring your listings in the right way, which give you a competitive advantage, because there are brands that are sticking their head in the sand and don't want to make the changes. And then dialing in your PPC on top of this really healthy listing is going to give you a lot of bang for your buck right now, right? So do that and make sure your images are updated, because AI reads that as well. So with that, guys, maybe one more comment from each of you guys. Like, you know, give us your number one thing that you know, that you want to give advice to brands and sellers and agencies that are listening today. What is your number one thing that they should focus on in 2026 to help with their Amazon business? Ganesh, we'll go with you first.
Yeah, I think it's just understanding every Amazon feature, like, clearly, right? I think it's so many things being released, like Rufus, and obviously we've got 3D models, and we've even got virtual try-ons for clothes, and there's just so many things Amazon are releasing. They're changing their platform every year. So I think it's just staying on top of all the new features that are coming out and just really knowing how to effectively use it and if it applies to your product. And I think that's probably the best advice I could say, really. It doesn't matter what it is. It's just when Amazon release something, just stay on top of it.
Yeah, good. Will?
I'd say test and iterate. That's the biggest thing. Lots of things are changing, but split testing still has its place. So as you make changes, as you're considering strategies, you could do it through Manager Experiments on Amazon, or they have third-party platforms that you can leverage to get some real-time data pretty quickly to understand the impact of changes, strategies, and thoughts around product features and benefits. So test and iterate.
Great. And I think from my side, you know, I'll just conceptualize it with seismic change comes opportunity, right? And that's why we are good at being entrepreneurs, is when there is change, we adapt and jump on it. And there is a lot of change happening, but if you're on top of it and you test, iterate, and just constantly move the needle, you will have access to that opportunity, and it's significant. So use the tools, use them in the right way, use AI in the right way, build your systems, use technology partners, software that are solving for problems in the new AI era, and get that advantage before your competitors, because with change, you know, people are going to rise to the surface and you have that opportunity. So this is a good thing, but you got to get stuck in. So thank you everyone for jumping on. I know there's been some great questions, you know, some good viewership. Everyone loves the series, and we'll have a new one soon. You know, next we have a Zonguru specific webinar coming up. So if you're on our newsletter or our email list, you'll get notified there. We have a new Amazon Partners webinar coming out soon, and then some big announcements in the next couple of weeks around how we truly are moving our technology to an AI forward UX experience, and so you're going to get the benefit of that pretty soon, and I'm very excited by that. So watch out for some new announcements from us. But in the meantime, with all the links that were offered here, please get in touch with anyone here and start using the products and services here today. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much, Ganesh, and we'll appreciate your time and for sharing your knowledge. And good luck to everyone out there, and we'll catch you soon. Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks, John.